Hey everybody, it's Jamie from No Getting Off This Train, and today I have some vegetarian meal prep ideas that's going to make your week so much easier. As you can see from my previous videos, I am on a huge meal prep kick because I have seen that you all are looking for easy meal ideas because we just don't have a lot of time right now. And because at the time of posting this, it is January, a lot of people are experimenting with a more plant-based diet. So I wanted to give you two vegetarian meal prep ideas. One is a breakfast and one is a lunch or dinner, just depending on when you want to eat it. And it just so happens that both of these are naturally gluten-free. So for you gluten-free people out there, this is also for you. There are ways that you can make this vegan as well, and I'll give you some tips and tricks along the way. So today I'm going to be making a double batch of blueberry baked oatmeal, and this was in a blog post I did just last week. I'm linking the recipe below. I am also making a vegetarian taco topped sweet potato, and it sounds delicious. So what do you say we get started? Here are all the ingredients I'm going to need for these recipes, minus the blueberries because they're currently frozen. I'm not going to get them out until I'm ready for them. But here's all the stuff for the baked oatmeal. I'm going to start with this. I'm making a double batch and they take the longest to bake in the oven. And then these are the ingredients for my taco topped sweet potatoes. As you can see, very few ingredients. It's going to be super easy to put together. So first things first, I have to prepare the baked oatmeal. So like I said a second ago, I am doubling this recipe because it serves 6, and John and I will be eating from this all week. So I wanted to make sure that we each got enough to last us. Now I did say earlier that these recipes are naturally gluten-free. However, if you are like gluten-free for medical reasons like celiac disease, you want to make sure that you grab certified gluten-free rolled oats. Now oats are naturally gluten-free. However, some factories manufacture products that have gluten in them already, and it may get contaminated. So if you need to be gluten-free, just make sure you grab the ones that say certified gluten-free. Now in this large bowl, I am just combining all or most of the dry ingredients minus the walnuts. And you typically do that with baked oatmeal. You do dry ingredients in one and then wet ingredients in the other. I am using flax seed in this recipe, and I have recently come across flax seed and it's got so many nutritional benefits to it. It has healthy fats, which we need for a healthy lifestyle. The unsaturated fats can help lower cholesterol, which is one reason why I wanted to grab it. And then it also has plenty of fiber. Fiber is also good for lowering cholesterol. And it also has a little bit of protein in it as well. And it mixes in quite nicely with pretty much everything. I know some people add it to their smoothies. I've also added it to like my banana bread and muffins and stuff. And then someone else asked me if she could use chia seeds instead of flax seeds. And I had to look it up because I've never done it before. The answer is yes, you can. I'm not sure if you need to add any extra liquid to it, but you are able to use chia seeds instead of flaxseed, or just don't use it at all. It doesn't really matter. All right, now we're going for the wet ingredients. And I have realized that it is hard to talk and think at the same time, especially because I'm trying to double this recipe. And sometimes I forget to double certain ingredients. I think we are right on track though. So, vegan options. This recipe is naturally vegetarian, but you can also make it vegan by making just a few changes. One of the changes is using flax eggs instead of regular eggs. And I believe for every one egg equals 1 tablespoon of flax seed, the ground flax seed, and 3 tablespoons of water mixed together. So flax eggs are a vegan option. Also, you could use, instead of cow's milk, you could use almond milk or coconut milk or any of your favorite dairy-free milks. And also, instead of honey, like what I'm using, you could use maple syrup. Either one would work just fine. I am also using olive oil in this recipe, but for whatever reason, if you want to lower the calories or don't want oil, you could always replace this with applesauce. Or if you don't like oil, you could do butter instead, but dairy-free option and vegan option would be the olive oil. Another addition to this recipe is walnuts. If you don't like walnuts, you could use pecans, or even just don't use nuts at all. But I like adding these because it gives a lot of good unsaturated fats. And the last thing is blueberries. I have like 2 open bags of blueberries, so I don't know how much I have. I might add a little bit more to this one because I am doubling the recipe. Blueberries are really high in certain nutrients like antioxidants. They're a good source of fiber. Sometimes with frozen blueberries, you might get one with a little stem on it. That does happen. Just you'll need to watch out for it, I suppose. These are now ready to go in the oven. The oven is preheated to 375, and I'm going to put them in for about 40 minutes. They might take a little bit longer, but when they come out, I'll just stick a knife in them to see if they're done. Next up, we need to get the sweet potatoes ready. What I typically do is run these under water and brush them clean. I have a bottle brush that we don't use anymore, obviously, so that seems to work best. I always leave the skin on as well when I bake them, but then getting them ready after that is super easy. Now, typically, baking potatoes takes a very long time. I'm talking like maybe up to an hour, depending on what size potato you're using. What I like to do with my potatoes, now I like to cut the ends off my sweet potatoes, but I actually just slice them in half, just like that. And I put them on the baking sheet and bake them this way. And that way I only have to bake them for like 30-ish minutes. It cuts the time in half. And I usually cut up my baked potato anyway, so I'm not worried about the presentation. But this is my genius idea. This one might take a little bit longer to bake. It's a lot thicker than the others, but we'll see. So I sprayed the baking sheet. I'm just gonna lightly spray the tops of these. I'll put some salt and pepper on top, and then we're just gonna roast them. I typically roast these at 400, but since the baked oatmeal is at 375, that's not gonna be a huge deal. Now we get to put the topping mixture together. I'm going to start out by heating up a tablespoon of olive oil, and then I'm going to chop up an onion and then saute some onion and garlic in here. I'm going to show you a couple different ways that you can modify this recipe, ways to save time, ways to save money, different things you could add. My idea here is super simple. I'm just using onions and garlic, like I said, and I'm only using black beans and corn. If you had any bell peppers, you could totally add that to it as well, or any of your other favorite vegetables, that'd be fine too. You can even use a bag of frozen pepper and onion blend to make things even easier. That's almost done cooking a little bit, so I thought I would talk about different ways that you could use all of your vegetables and stuff. So I'm using a can of black beans, and if you want to save a little bit of extra money, you could certainly buy a bag of dried black beans, and you can make your own that way. You could also, like when you make the bag of dried beans, you can freeze them in little freezer bags, and 2 cups of cooked beans equals about 1 can. So you can freeze them in 2-cup portions and just do it that way. And then corn, I mean, you could use a can of corn, you could use a frozen bag of corn, any fresh corn that you may have chopped up, whatever you have available, it's all good. And I'm actually going to drain and rinse these real quick, and then we'll add that to the pan. I'm also going to add just a little bit of some salsa that I have. I was going to add some diced tomatoes, but I don't have any, so I'm just making do with what I have. I also have some taco seasoning, and you could certainly make your own taco seasoning mix. And I'll probably add a little bit of water as well, just so this mixture doesn't get too dry. So, okay, it looks like the sweet potatoes are not quite done. These ones are, but that one is not quite done yet. So I'll stick that back in for maybe like 3 or 4 more minutes. Then we will check the baked oatmeal. It's nice and brown on top, which is very promising. And sticking a knife in, it is fairly clean. Looks pretty awesome. Now I usually let these sit and cool for an hour or 2, and then I will cut them into 6 pieces and then put them into meal prep containers. All right, awesome. These sweet potatoes are now finished. So what I'll do, I'm planning on this serving 4 people, so I made 4 sweet potatoes. I'm just going to set them in these little meal prep containers like this, and then I'll pour the bean and corn mixture right on top. And then from here, you could even top it with other things if you wanted to. Cheese, sour cream, even like little guacamole. I have those little individual guacamole packets that I use. Super easy for me. And then here, we'll go ahead and add the mixture. Now, altogether, that took maybe an hour and 15 minutes, but a lot of that was just sitting around waiting for all the stuff in the oven to finish. And in that time, you could do some of the dishes that you made with some of these meals. All of the nutrition info is in this video, as you saw, plus in the description in case you need it. Now, remember, these are just suggestions for nutrition and calories. If that is not enough food for you, please feel free to add more stuff to it. If it sounds like too much food, maybe just cut back on the portions. It's all about you and what you need. Other ideas for this blueberry baked oatmeal: if you don't want to eat it by itself, you could pair it with a protein, which I recommend. So things like sausage patties, eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, things like that. The lunch right here with the baked sweet potatoes is pretty much a meal all in itself, and you could add different toppings to it like I told you earlier. If this was helpful, please let me know, and also tell me what other things you would like to see. These were both vegetarian and gluten-free, so hopefully I kind of killed two birds with one stone there. If you have not subscribed yet, go ahead and do so right now, and like this video and ring that bell so you'll be notified when more of these videos come out, as well as my other grocery hauls, recipes, and meal planning tips. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you later. Did you know I offer one-on-one nutrition coaching? Whether your goal is to lose weight, eat healthier, or just want to know how to get started, I can help. You can schedule a free weight loss discovery call by using the link in the description. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to chat with you.